What's up, YouTube? And yeah, I had to put the clickbait picture as the first part of the video. More about that picture in the next video because to be perfectly honest with you, this I want to get the truth out there more than I do about a stupid little game because I think it's time people realize something, all right? There's been a lot of shit, people have been saying basically acting like I'm not the same person that I was 10 years ago. When I started making videos on YouTube, what did I say my goal was? I said that I saw some of Coach Z's videos, and while he gave some decent advice for beginners, I feel as though there were some things he wasn't covering, probably on purpose, right? And then later on, as the game closed and Toontown Rewritten was starting to rise, I was the only person that was calling them out for their shit. I was the only person in the entire community that had enough balls to dare say they had fuck arounditis, and as a result, I got more hate than anybody else in the whole community. And for years straight, people hated me because of that. Later on, when people realized the truth, they started loving me again. You know? So I'm no stranger to this kind of drama. I'm no stranger to this kind of hate, right? The Toontown SJWs, they seem massive in number because they're so vocal about it, but the Toontown Rewritten fanboys of back in the day far outnumbered these motherfuckers. So these people think that they're going to silence the truth. It's not going to happen. Alright? So I'm going to tell you guys something right now. You have to live in reality. You have to live in the truth. You can try to run away from the truth no matter how hard you try, but it'll always slap you in the face later on in life. So the purpose of this video is not to talk about that picture that you guys saw in the first minute. I'll talk about that in the next video. I just had to, put that picture in this video, to tick people off, piss people off, whatever. Because we were in the Discord call laughing about how Toontown Rewritten bans people associated for association, right? But ironically, Clash does the same thing. But what I want to talk about in this video, as the title suggests, specifically is about some SJW shit. Now, the Clash mods and the Clash developers basically don't want me to use footage of their game while talking about this SJW. This is my giant fuck you. I'm gonna use footage from your game and talk about this, and ain't a damn thing you can do about it. So let's get right. I'll put a timestamp in the in the comments for people that want to skip the prelude, and we're gonna get right into it. So what's the truth that I want to talk about, right? All this drama started because I said a comment about Zap. Because you guys gotta understand something. People don't get angry if you lie to them. Alright? I get very angry if people lie to me, but I'm an exception to the rule. Most people walking around have friends right now, quote unquote friends right now, that are serpents. Okay? They have friends that lie to their faces every day. But they're best friends with these people. Should somebody they love the people that lie to them. Okay? They love Toontown Rewritten for 7 years for lying to their faces. Okay? They act like they're angry at Toontown Rewritten right now, but they still play the damn game. So these people love liars. Okay? Birds of the same feather flock together, serpents of the same skin color crawl together, right? These people worship liars. The minute somebody comes to them and tells them the truth and shatters their perspective of reality, they get enraged. In 2013, I told the truth about Toontown Rewritten. Shattered people's perception of reality, and everybody hated me for it. Well, it's fine by me, because my life doesn't revolve around the fucking internet anyway. I could give a fuck less about what some random jobless bums on the internet think about me. No offense to anybody, it just is what it is, right? And the same thing's happening right now. I said what I said about Zap, and it pissed people off because I was talking about their favorite gag. Toontown people, they don't just worship Toontown YouTubers, they worship fucking gag tracks too. So I got more hate than anybody in Clash, all because I said I don't want to get zapped. I didn't even say this in the video. That's the funny thing, right? Because in my first stream, I said that, I was going to get zapped later after I learned the basics of the game. Because you know what? That's what intelligent people do. Intelligent people don't just go jump off of a bridge just because they see 100 other people jumping off of a bridge. Intelligent people don't just go and try some crack just because, 100 other people try some crack. 100 other, intelligent people don't just try something just because it's the new drug on the block that all the fiends are going for, right? Unintelligent people, they pick the zap gag because it's the new gag on the block or because everybody else has zap. So I basically said, I'm going to pick it later after I learn how to play the game. Because that's what intelligent people do. They try other shit after they learn the basics, right? But I digress. So, in my own Discord, my private Discord server, this is where the drama started, alright? I said I'm not going to get zapped anymore because I don't like the gag. And that caused an uproar. One thing led to another. I kept talking about the reasons why I don't like Zap, and it kept pissing more and more people off to the point where it escalated and had to turn into a debate live on my channel. Now, some people were asking, why make a debate about a silly kids game? I'm going to make a video covering the kids game shit next week after I get this important stuff out of the way. And the reason is, Generation Z people don't have any balls. They don't like confrontation. The people that shit talk me, mainly, for those of you guys that are in the community actively following Discord servers and whatnot, you guys notice a common pattern. You see all these motherfuckers shit talking me when I'm not around, but the minute I show up, everybody gets silenced. Because they're a bunch of fucking vaginas that don't believe in, confrontation, even when confrontation is good, right? So I made that debate because it's like, hey man, if you guys are going around telling people how wrong I am, why don't we live debate about it? And I make you guys look stupid in the debate, which I did. I won the debate. They agreed with pretty much every point I had to say, except for the trap shit, which trap is an accessory gag, so we don't need to focus on that gag anyway. So I'm just like, alright, whatever. You guys want to say Zap is better than trap, I'll let you guys have the point. I don't care. It's an accessory gag anyways. But my main couple of points, they basically agreed with that. People didn't like that I won that debate, so they took it even further. They joined the Discord, recorded some calls, and used it as a propaganda tool to declare war on me. And what was said in these calls? The purpose of my Discords, okay, because we live in a world where the truth is considered evil. We live in a world where doing your own research is considered a meme. We live in a world where seeking your own knowledge and trying to use your own brain is considered the act of the devil. I mean, you got religions out there teaching people that if you seek your own knowledge, you're a devil worshiper, right? You gotta just blindly believe authority, blindly believe gods, blindly believe doctors, blindly believe presidents, blindly believe certified professionals. Don't you dare seek your own knowledge and wisdom. Don't you dare question what the serpent is telling you. Don't you dare question a doctor if he's telling you something. My aunt went to the doctor recently, and I'm probably going to yell in a couple of minutes. So those of you guys still watching the video, brace your fucking headphones, okay? My aunt went to the doctor recently. My aunt just so happens to be a nurse, right? She went to the doctors because I guess she wasn't feeling well, whatever. I didn't ask why she went to the doctors, but she went to the doctors, and the doctors were like, oh, everything's fine. Everything's all right. You're good to go. So as she was picking up her stuff and walking out of the door, because she's a nurse, she was able to read the charts and basically analyze their examination of her. And what she found was that she was not okay at all. She was not fine at all. She had an enlarged heart and a collapsed lung. Okay? But the fucking doctors lied to her and said she was fine. Now, There's a player in the community known as Low Bunny who basically said, and he didn't dare say this to my face. I was in a call with this motherfucker, and he didn't dare say this to my face. Instead, what he did was, he was in another Discord talking shit saying, doctors are licensed professionals, they know more than you, Frizzy. Yeah, they know how to lie better than me, certainly, because I'm an honest person. If my aunt did the Low Bunny strategy of just blindly listening to the fucking licensed professional, she could be dead right now. Because then she wouldn't have taken the steps that she needed to do in order to save her life. Now, why did the doctors lie to my aunts in this case? Why didn't they try to milk her for money by offering her surgery and remedies for her clear health problems? Okay? Because you people gotta realize not everything is about money. These doctors were clearly SJWs that believed that it's better to lie and spare a person's feelings than to tell them the truth and hurt them. Well, what these motherfuckers clearly don't understand is that if my aunt died because they didn't tell her the information, not only would that have hurt her even more, but if we found out about that shit somehow, that would have been a big lawsuit. In fact, it probably will be a big lawsuit. Because I don't want to say you can't do something like that, because doctors do this all the time. And I know the fucking retarded motherfuckers listening to this video are probably going to trim the video up and download it and going to go around telling people that Frizzy is anti-doctor. I'm anti-blindly believing people. What does this have to do with what I'm about to cover? People were asking why did I do a silly debate over a kid's game. First of all, it's not a kid's game, and I'll refute that next week when I make a video about it. But second of all, confrontation is good, okay? When people are lying to your face, you have a right to confront them, sometimes in front of a large audience like I did, right? Now, the main reason people are basically saying that I'm sexist, that I'm racist. It's ridiculous to call me racist because I'm half black and half white. So I've lived and grew around both sides of the spectrum. To call me racist is fucking ridiculous. But I'll address that point later, okay? This is going to be totally unfiltered. The purpose of my Discords are for, before we open my Discord to the public, the purpose of it was to allow people that got a brain. Because, like I was saying before I went on this rant, we live in a world where, again, the sheep don't like the truth. The truth is considered devil worship. You know, seeking your own information is considered challenging, you know, licensed professionals. The whole 9 yards, right? The purpose of my Discords was to give people that have a brain pretty much a safe haven where we can discuss certain matters unbiasedly without any of the sheep getting in the way, interjecting their stupid opinions that don't matter on subjects that they have not researched and topics that they do not understand. Generation Z Toontown SJWs believe that anybody should have a voice, that anybody should be entitled to an opinion even if they have no knowledge about a subject, and that is the most destructive way of thinking ever. If me and somebody else are, because, you know, the rumor that goes around about me is sexism this, racism that, and that I think Nazis invented autism. If me and somebody else are discussing, you know, certain chemical compounds' effects on the human body and how it affects the human DNA, okay? And how certain things have been scientifically proven to be linked with some of the viruses, diseases, and mental impairments that we have nowadays that didn't exist 60 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. We got more medicine than ever. Yet we have more diseases and viruses than ever, okay? If you are not equipped with the knowledge and information to have a logical discussion on the subject because you've done no research, why the fuck should you be allowed to speak about it? We shouldn't let stupid people have opinions. We shouldn't let stupid people talk out of their ass about subjects they know nothing about. There's an audio file going around with me arguing about a guy who didn't even comprehend that a real dictionary, an actual dictionary, is going to be different than what the fuck you read on the internet. Right? There's an audio file about me arguing with this guy, and you guys have probably seen it. Just go on Twitter. They put it on Twitter. Go on Twitter and listen to that audio file. You will see me tell him to go down the street and just buy a dictionary for $5. Yeah, but granted, I didn't know what state he was in, because some states the libraries are closed right now due to the corona, so maybe that was me talking out of my ass, because I didn't even know if he could go get that. Nonetheless, it doesn't even have to be a library. Somebody pointed out to me that schools sell fucking dictionaries for free, right? So there's a myriad of places where you can just go get in your car and go buy a dictionary, okay? That motherfucker argued with me for like an hour straight. In that hour, he could have gone and gotten a dictionary and verified, because you people say I don't provide any sources, right? He could have gone and gotten a dictionary and got his own source. He could have physically saw that a real dictionary is different than the dictionary shit y'all read online. He could have physically saw that. But he refused. Because sheep and SJWs refuse to see the truth. So my discords are basically where people that have a brain, people that have some intellectual capacity to discuss these things without interruption. I made the mistake of opening my server up to the public because, and this really started in Pirate 101, I started opening up my server to the public and nothing but retarded people joined. I opened it up for Toontown and it got even worse. So, I have made another server. I did basically, I can't delete my old server because I don't have access to that account anymore. But I did basically ban everybody from the server besides the original people, and I closed off all the chat sections, and basically my way of deleting as much of my server as possible, because if I don't have access to it, it shouldn't exist, right? Because it was my, I took it over, it was my server, so if I don't have access to it, I'm getting rid of it, right? That's just principle. I did make a new server. But this new server will not be open to the public. It's only going to be, it's for people that I just described. People that got a brain, okay? A lot of people wonder where autism comes from. It didn't exist 60 years ago. But it exists now. A lot of this shit didn't exist 60 years ago. But they exist now. A lot of this shit didn't exist 500 years ago. It's ironic how all of these diseases and viruses and shit, most of this shit didn't exist when humans were in their primitive states in terms of medicine and science. Yet we have more medicine and science than ever, yet we have more shit going around than ever. But I digress. So that was the purpose of my Discord. Now, and just to cover what I mean by an SJW stands for Social Justice Warrior. SJWs basically think with feelings, right? They're basically the new sheeple. They hate the truth. As you guys will hear in the audio file if y'all go and find it and click on it, he absolutely did not want to go and get a dictionary and directly prove to himself that a physical, real dictionary is different from the shit you read on the internet. He refused to see the truth for himself. It's kind of like a few months ago when I banned some people on Discord. We were trying to explain to them why drop is better than trap. We sent them videos, we sent them game mechanic files, we sent them a bunch of shit, and they absolutely refused to look at any of it because they didn't want to see that they were wrong. Stupid people who don't know that they're stupid. And it's the Dunning-Kruger effect. They want to talk out of their ass about subjects they know nothing about because they are too unintelligent to, they're so stupid they don't realize how stupid they are. They know so little they don't realize how little they know, right? This is why these people say blindly believe doctors, because they know so little they don't understand why that's fucking retarded to do. This is why I've been saying since day one to do your own research. You won't sources from me, fine. I gave the guy the ultimate source. Him going to buy a physical dictionary and seeing for himself the truth. Okay? But that's enough about that. There's some other things I want to get into. But this is why all the drama and hate started, because these people basically came to my calls and recorded conversations that were only meant for intelligent people. So yeah, we do talk about the sexes. We do talk about medicine. We do talk about diseases. We do talk about religion. We talk about everything in an intelligent, unfiltered way. The Toontown SJWs, they're not used to somebody telling them, you're wrong, here's why. Your opinions don't matter, your feelings don't matter. Opinions, beliefs, perspectives, perceptions, philosophies, ideologies, none of that shit matters. Only the truth does. And that's why I'm sticking to my guns. That's why I'm not backing down from this. You motherfuckers can harass my discords. That's fine. I can make an infinite amount of discords even if I get IP banned. You guys can't stop me from making discords. You guys can't stop me from making YouTube videos. You guys cannot stop me from putting the truth out there. Okay? And I'm going to get to the truth right now. The coup de grace. Okay? What the SJWs have all been waiting for me to answer. Frizzy, are you sexist? Well, I'm going to answer this question with the truth. Truth number one, men and women are biologically different. Truth number two, an example, because you guys want sources, right? I'll give you a source. Men on average produce 20 times the testosterone that women do, which is responsible for why we're physically stronger. Are men and women, is it sexist to say that on average women are weaker than me? Is it sexist to say that in the police academy, the people that performed the worst were females? Is it sexist to say that studies have shown that women perform worse than their male counterparts in every job in the military? Is that sexist? Truth isn't sexist. But the SJWs don't want to hear that. Whatever, right? Truth number three. Women produce more of a specific chemical compound that is responsible for emotional thinking than men do. Is it sexist to point out this is why women are so emotional? Is it sexist to point out that all these Toontown SJWs were raised by single mothers, which is why they're so fucking emotional? You try to tell a woman the raw truth. What do they usually do first? They usually deny it and go and get angry about it. And they usually can't handle it because they're in their feelings, they're in their emotions until they calm down and assess the situation later. These women are raising children. Children grow up and see how their parents are acting, and they copy and repeat the behaviors they see their parents do. If they see their single mother acting like an emotional wreck every time they're told the hard truth, that's how they're going to grow up to believe that's how you're supposed to act. You got fucking men that want to wear mini skirts on Toontown Rewritten. They think that male Toons should have skirts on Toontown Corporate Clash, my bad. Right? If you're a man walking around wearing a skirt, don't call yourself a man. You're a fucking bitch. You want to dress like a bitch? I'll call you a bitch. Alright? And people were like, oh, Frizzy, you don't dare say the stuff to people. Yes, I do, because what are they going to do to me? I intentionally call transsexuals by their birth sex. Not by what they identify as. Because what they identify as doesn't fucking matter. Why do you think all these organizations are cracking down on transsexual athletes that were born a man but want to compete as a woman to get a cheating edge? There's a guy in the community known as Prinny who's a transsexual. I asked him, why did you change your sex? And his reason was because it's easier to get what I want. Now, we're told by the SJWs that we should blindly accept these people. Should we blindly accept a person who only changed their sex to manipulate people into getting what they want? To manipulate in sports events, etc.? I'm just saying. But I digress. So this is the truth about all this sexism shit. Men and women are not the same. We're physically different, we're biologically different. Our physiology is different. Anybody that wants to go around and say that we should be treated the same because we're all the same, they're fucking retarded. Now, I had a conversation with the player Super Mouse, who, he was trying to get into my Discord, and he'll probably see this video. If he gets to this part, I'll be astonished. But he basically said, because I asked him a question, do you think that men and women are the same, and that we should be treated the same? And his reasoning was absolutely retarded. He said that people can't help how they're born as, therefore they should all be treated the same and given the same chances. It's the most hypocritical shit I've ever heard. Now, I'm not a vegan, but the vegans are absolutely right when they say this. They say that you think that everybody cannot control how they were born as, so you think we should give everybody the same chance, but you go around eating steaks. You go around eating chicken nuggets. You step on ants, you kill bugs, right? You fucking smack spiders if you see them in your room. They can't help how they were born, so why aren't you treating them like a fucking human? It's the most hypocritical shit in the world. You put two men together. They're going to be different sizes. They're going to have different hair, eye color, different abilities, right? If these two men apply for the same job and there's only one opening left, these two men are not going to be treated equally. The guy with better abilities is going to be more heavily evaluated. Or the guy that knows the right people is going to be more heavily evaluated. They are not going to be treated the same. So, to sit here and lie and say that you're going to treat everybody the same because they can't help how they're born as, that's a crock of bullshit. Even in your own circle of friends, SJWs, you don't treat everybody the same. Okay? If you have a disability on a job application, you're not getting that job. That's the truth. If you are a woman and you're applying to a police department and you fail to meet the physical standards that are required by male officers, you're not going to get hired. That's the truth. Now, the SJWs have gotten so out of hand that they're making police departments lower all their requirements just so more female officers can get hired. If any of you people ever been in a situation where you were actually afraid that your life was in danger because you realized that your nearest backup was a bunch of quota hire SJW fucking people that didn't have the ability to properly do the job? I had a situation where some shit was about to go down, and my nearest backup was a fucking bitch that almost got choked out at the police academy because she didn't even know how to get out of a basic headlock. But they hired her and let her graduate because they needed more female hires, quota hiring, right? This is the raw truth. I will not be censored. But the Toontown SJWs, they want to live in this bubble, man. They want to live in this delusional reality because they don't live in the real world. They don't have jobs. They don't have to go outside and know what it's like to have their life physically in danger because they're around a certain group of people that's responsible for all the crime. The reason people think I'm racist is because they took a picture of something I said in my own personal Discord out of context where I said that, yeah, I'm on guard when I see other black people. And I'm going to explain why. Black Lives Matter won't tell you this shit, but you know who's the most responsible for murdering other black people? Blacks. You know who's the most responsible for robbing other black people? Blacks. When my house got broken into when I was 15 years old, who the fuck broke into my house? 4 black people. When I had to fucking go to school every day and I saw people with fucking red bandanas and blue bandanas that were Bloods and Crips that were fucking terrorizing the school, what race group were wearing those bandanas? Blacks. So these SJWs that never leave the house, they talk about blacks are treated unfairly by whites. Whites have never done anything to me. That cops go around harassing blacks? Cops go around harassing everybody. The incident I was just telling you guys about happened because a black officer was antagonizing all the white inmates, and we almost died. We almost got our shit kicked in. But our nearest backup was a quota hire, so this is the raw truth for you SJWs, man. I'm not racist because I analyzed from a young age that the only people that were causing me problems in my life, the only people that were putting my life in danger were other blacks. Hell, even the fucking scenario I just told you about with that officer, it was a black officer. That's not being racist when you understand who has a much higher chance of harming you. I'm gonna let that one sink in for y'all. So 5 years ago, during the Freddie Gray riots as well, I was at the basketball court. This was actually probably one of my last times around that neighborhood. Because as I got older, I started to realize that there's certain people I just need to distance myself from. But I was at the basketball court, and I heard before getting there that some white guy that was, he was there to buy some drugs. I'm going to keep it 100. Stereotypes exist for a reason. Why do white people show up in the hood? Because they want to buy some drugs. That's exactly what was happening here. Okay? The guy wanted to buy some drugs. And he had never been around that neighborhood before. He didn't know anybody. So the people that I associated with back then robbed him. And I heard about it. So I get to the basketball court. I'm like, why'd y'all rob that little white guy for, man? What did he do to y'all? Why'd y'all rob that guy for? He was just here to buy some heroin. Why'd y'all rob him for? And the answer I was given, because he didn't belong here. These are the real racists. I'm not racist because I'm on guard around people that have always put my life in danger. That's not racism. You're talking to a guy that's, half black, half white. I've been on both sides of the family. White people ain't never done nothing to me. Well, besides the SJWs on Toontown, who are predominantly white. But in my real life, outside of this internet shit, they've never done anything to me. I mean, other than getting framed at that one job. But as far as putting my life in danger, no, they never did anything to me. And granted, that guy probably wanted a white officer there. That's why he framed me and whatnot. But I mean, compared to fucking having your home broken into, being pistol whipped, held at gunpoint by people of your own race who are supposed to be on your side, that's chump change. These white people ain't never done anything to me, but I'm racist, right? Okay. So this is a long video, but hey man, I'm going in. This is the absolute truth that nobody else in the Toontown community will dare say. That nobody else in the Toontown community will dare talk about, because people in this community don't leave the fucking house. They don't have fucking lives. They don't have experience. They don't have shit. But I need therapy because I'm sitting, some bitch, and I blocked this person from my YouTube, man. She was saying, Frizzy, I agree with what you're saying and I see where you're coming from. But to say that men and women aren't the same, it sounds like you have some I hate when my mic cuts off. It sounds like you have some anger. I think you might need therapy for saying that men and women aren't the same. You need therapy for saying the truth. Nice. But hey man, at the end of the day, I already know that just by uploading this video, people are going to splice certain things together and take what I say out of context, and that's fine. I don't really give a fuck. The only purpose I have for making YouTube videos is to tell people the truth. I'm not going to get silenced by these stupid SJWs. I never planned on making another video about these people ever again after the worship video, but you know what? Fuck it. I have no restrictions now. Clash doesn't want me talking about this stuff using their footage, too bad. I'm going to do it. If my channel somehow gets taken down, I'm still going to I'll just re-upload the same fucking video. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to let the truth get silenced, because evil triumphs when good men do nothing. Nobody else in the community is talking about the obvious elephant in the room, but I will. I will be the villain. I will be the anti-hero. I will let you guys direct all your hate towards me. I'll let you do it. But the truth needs to be said. These Toontown SJWs, they don't leave the house, so they have a very blind perspective of reality. And another thing is, right? They want to attack me, a random YouTuber in a box that doesn't really affect their everyday lives. But they do absolutely nothing to the people that fuck them in the ass every day. They don't go after the real racists. They don't go after the people that actually have power, that are really responsible for their miserable lives. They believe that they are doing a just cause, when in reality all they're doing is destroying the world around them. By destroying the truth and dismissing the truth as a silly opinion, you're doing more harm than good. Anyways, let's see. I've covered the racism shit. I've covered the sexism shit. I've covered the Zap shit. And then there's another rumor going on about me pedophilia. I'm going to address this one right now. So, I'm going to just put out some numbers there for you, and this, I'll probably end the video talking about this, because I'm sure if I forgot anything, then people are going to remind me in the comments section anyways, right? I'll talk about everything. So let's talk about pedophilia, for example, for a quick second, right? I'm going to throw some numbers out there for you guys. And I already know there's going to be some sheep that are like, sources, Frizzy, sources, Frizzy. You know what? I'm going to quote Albert, and this is really where people are going to say I'm racist now. Once people Google who this guy is, they're really going to call me a racist after I quote this motherfucker, Albert Pike. You know, Albert Pike is a man with a lot of credentials, because you guys like to appeal to authority, right? You guys like that stupid appeal to authority fallacy, right? Well, Albert Pike is a guy who was a 33rd degree Mason, co-founder of the KKK, and the only Confederate general of a statue down in Washington, D.C. Although I hope I'm not starting something by saying that, because you SJWs will probably go down to Washington, D.C. now and try to get the fucking statue destroyed. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. I think, worshiping other people was bad anyways. But I digress. Ironically, there's a rumor going around that his corpse is actually entombed in the Freemason headquarters for the Scottish Rite in America down in Virginia. But there's no way to verify that, obviously, unless you go to the building yourself and see it with your own eyes, which I'm not going to do because I'm not a Freemason, despite what people think. But, Albert Pike said it best in his third chapter of the book Morals and Dogma, and you people aren't going to read that book because that book costs $80. You Toontown people, you Toontown SJWs are broke, jobless fucking bums. You can't afford an $80 book. But in his third chapter of Morals and Dogma, he said that 95% of our members have to be deceived because they are sheep seeking a free lunch. How dare they come to us for a free meal? How dare they come to us for free information because they're too lazy and afraid to look up the information for themselves? Keep in mind, he wrote this book in the 1800s, and people were already doing this shit. People were already saying sources, bro. People were already demanding other people do the work for them. Other people do the research for them. Because they were too fucking lazy and scared and afraid to do their own research themselves. This was in the 1800s when he said this shit in his book Morals and Dogma, because he died in the 1800s. And I recently just brought another book by him, his Magnum Opus, right? And I already know people are going to say I'm racist because I'm quoting the guy that co-founded the KKK. I don't give a fuck, man. At the end of the day, racism exists in the world. Is it dominant? No. Now, we'll say this. He did say that if he ever had to accept Negroes in his organization or leave Freemasonry, that he would leave Freemasonry. So this guy was a racist. Nonetheless, his information was good. And he wasn't saying anything wrong in regards to the sheeple. Because the sheeple he was talking about his white brothers that he was misleading. 95% of them he was misleading. He said we will teach them false meanings of symbols and false meanings of rites and rituals because they deserve to be deceived. And why did they deserve to be deceived? Because they dared to fucking come out to us and get a free lunch because they were too lazy to do their own research. So, you people better wake up, man. But I mean, yeah, so when you people ask for sources, bro, for what I'm about to talk about, just keep in mind what I just said. This was Albert Pike, 33rd degree Freemason. You can go no higher in terms of the degrees. He was at the highest. He got the 33rd degree when he died. Or he might have been 1133rd. I would need to double check that. So keep in mind, he was in an organization where a lot of people that are in the know think a lot of intelligent people are. And he was deceiving 95% of them by his own admission. You guys want a source? Go read Morals and Dogma if you can afford it, right? But getting to this pedophilia shit, I had to go on that rant because the numbers I'm about to present is gonna It's gonna piss a lot of people off. A lot of males in particular, I'm predicting, are not gonna like what I'm about to say here. Okay? And this is probably what gets the video taken down. So I encourage anybody watching the video at this point, download the video and save it and re-upload it later if it gets taken down. Because what I'm about to say is going to piss a lot of people off. This right here is going to piss off more people than anything I've said in the previous 40 minutes for those that are willing to listen. Okay? This pedophilia shit, I'm going to just keep it 100 with you. When I was in middle school, and keep in mind I had a late birthday, so I was a grade, I was in a grade, fucking, what's the word? I was in a grade, so like, I was 13 in 8th grade. I was a grade above what I should have been in because of my late birthday. Because in Maryland, like, you're supposed to be 14 in the 8th grade, 15 in the 9th grade, 16, 17. You're supposed to be 18 by the time you graduate high school. I was 17 and I was 16 going into my senior year. So I was a little bit earlier in the grades than what I should have been. Keep in mind, right, I'm 13. The chicks around me were anywhere from 12, 13, 14, and the ones that failed a couple grades, 15, right? So they were pretty young. Whenever I was the only boy in the class, the girls would start to talk. Because girls talk two different types of way. Women talk two different types of way. They talk one way to guys, and they talk another way when they're around females. When I was the only guy in the classroom, I'm too used to this Discord shit. When I was the only guy in the classroom, these motherfuckers, they would basically talk about all kinds of sexual shit. I mean, one bitch would go on all the time about, oh, me and my boyfriend, we don't have sex, we make love. And the boyfriend was like 4 years older than her. And one of the other girls had to point out, hey, you do know there's a boy here. She was talking about me. And she was like, it's okay, Chris ain't gonna tell nobody. And she was right. I didn't tell it, well, until I'm telling you guys right now. But I mean, at the time, I didn't tell anybody because this was normal behavior. This was normal shit. Because when you go out and you live in the real world, when you go to public schools, when you leave your fucking house, you see how people actually are in the real world. What's the purpose of that story? The numbers show that the average woman loses their virginity when they are 13 years old. The average male loses their virginity when they are 16 years old. Now, this is talking about the average person that actually leaves the house. This ain't talking about you SJW incels that the closest feeling you guys have to sexual interaction is hentai, yaoi, and all that other weird anime shit. This is talking about people that leave the house. Average woman loses their virginity at 13. Average male loses their virginity at 16. Now, immediately, for those of y'all that have a brain that are still listening, something should go off in your head, okay? If women are losing their virginities at 13 and men don't lose it until 3 years later, who are these women losing their virginities to? Obviously older men. And we're not just talking a couple years. Go get a woman drunk or catch a woman talking after 12 p.m. when they're tired and ask them questions. So who did you lose your virginity to? If they tell you the truth, you'll be flabbergasted. It didn't flabbergast me because I already knew, man, because I live in the real world. I grew up in the real world. I saw this shit from a young age. I saw how people are from a young age. I was never blinded by the fucking internet because the internet wasn't really a thing back then. I mean, yeah, you had shit like Facebook, but only older people used that shit. In terms of my generation, we didn't have fucking Discord and Instagram and Twitter and all this other shit to blind us from reality. Let me take a sip of tea. Yeah, there we go. Good old tea. So what point am I trying to make here? This pedophile shit, from my experience, the pedophile hunters are the biggest pedophiles. One of the guys on Pirate 101 that accused me of this shit, he had child pornography on his computer. He was bragging and calling the bitch lolly porn while we were in the Skype call. It's like, why the fuck do you have that shit on your computer and you want to accuse others of pedophilia? But this is the reality, man. People project what they are the most because you become what you most think about. If you're walking around doing some pedophile shit, then you're going to accuse other people of being pedophiles. It just is what it is. And why is this? Because it's a known established fact that women generally speaking prefer older guys. Until women get older, then they want younger guys so they don't feel old. But women from the age of 13 to about 30, they prefer older guys. And these are the guys that these women are having sex with. So and they will lie. You go on Instagram right now and you see these 13-year-old girls that have the unfortune of being developed early. They got millions of followers. Now, do you think those millions of followers are guys their same age? You guys better fucking wake up, bro. A lot of 13-year-old boys don't even think about sexual shit. So you think other 13-year-olds are following these bitches on Instagram? You people better wake up. So this pedophile shit, a lot more people than you guys can comprehend are doing it. Men are very easily tempted. I had an incident where I was like 17, 18. I was around the old neighborhood. I think I just got home from track practice. And my boy Tavon, well, I knew like 5 Tavons. That's a pretty common name in the black community, but one of my boy Tavons, or actually, I just got back from summer track practice, not regular track practice. This was after I graduated high school. It was summer track practice. I get back around the neighborhood. We're walking, we're talking. Basically, he was involved with a love triangle, right? We knew a guy named Damon who liked a bitch fucking, what the fuck was her name? I can't even think of her name, but whatever. We had a boy named Damon who was like 15. He was younger than us, but he was, big, tall motherfucker, like 6'3", right? So he didn't look his age. He was like 15. He liked a bitch that was 13, which nothing wrong with that, just a 2-year age difference. But the bitch didn't like him. The bitch liked my boy Tavon. Tavon was 18. This would be considered statutory. We're walking and talking. And he's like, yeah, don't tell Damon, but, she gave me head on her front porch. Now, you fucking SJWs that don't leave the house, you guys would have reported him to the police. And the police wouldn't have done anything about it because this is normal, okay? And this is going to offend a lot of people. This is going to get my video taken down probably. This is going to make people call me a pedophile supporter. But guess what? In the real world, this is the norm. Younger girls give it up to older guys. Because it's older guys who they find sexually desirable. Parents don't like to think about what happens when their 13, 14, and 15-year-old girls start to have sexual desires. They don't like to think about who their daughters are sleeping with. But I'm going to tell you guys who your daughters are sleeping with. I'm going to just keep it 100 with you. Now, when I first started playing Toontown again, people tried to tell me shit about Coach Z, but they couldn't provide any beyond a reasonable doubt factual evidence. It was mainly just people. I actually banned a couple of people for fucking talking about Coach Z in that way without any fucking proof. Now, I'm not a Coach Z fanboy, but you know what? He is the guy that started all of this shit. So if you're gonna accuse him of a sexual crime, you better fucking have some proof about it. Irrefutable proof that would actually get him convicted. Not some fucking screenshots that you people take out of context. Real fucking proof that he actually raped a minor. If you ain't got that proof, shut the fuck up. But this is the reality, man. Girls at a young age give it up to older guys. Now, older guys that live in the real world, they talk about this. They ain't going to talk about it on the internet, though, because you people that don't leave the house will call them pedophiles. And are they pedophiles? By definition of the word, yes, they are. But this is the real world. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys about, the real world. It's different than your safe Toontown haven on Reddit, okay? Anyways, and you know what? I made it. Because I had people tell me they got emailed by Reddit about a post people made about me. So, I made it, man. I never thought I would become that popular on YouTube that external websites would be emailing people about me, man. But I digress. Oh, and somebody's asking if I got banned on Discord. Hold on. No, I'm just making a video. But anyways, had to tell my peoples I'm not banned on Discord. Anyways, guys. So let's see. I covered the sexism accusations. I covered the racism accusations. I briefly talked about Albert Pike. I briefly talked about Zap. And I talked about the pedophilia accusations. Now, a week ago, I would have told anybody if they have any questions, come to my Discord and we can talk about it man to man. My Discord is not going to be up to the public this time. Now, I keep my personal Discord DMs open, so if anybody wants to talk about it or call when I have free time, etc., you can do that. You're probably not going to get into my server unless you have a brain, though. But if you guys have any other questions or if you guys think I'm avoiding talking about anything, comment it on the comments down below or talk to me about it in Discord and I'll make another video. Because this video was to address all of the things that I quote unquote was avoiding. I wasn't avoiding talking about shit. I just didn't think that Toontown people could handle such information, and I still don't think y'all can. But you know what? I'm having fun pissing off the SJWs, so I'm gonna make a couple more videos talking about this shit. So yeah, and I'll talk about the picture that I put in the video earlier in the next one. But stick around for the stream, man. It's gonna be a ball, man. It's gonna be for the stream on Saturday. It's gonna be a ball. With that, I will catch you guys in the next video. Shout out to anybody that actually watched the full 50 minutes. Peace.